Are you a deviant? You know, like those of us who binge watch serial killer programs, laugh at the stupid shit people do, and revel in anything adult? Well, you found your people. Join us as we crack open the door to the padded cell and release the insanely stupid, the weirdly wonderful, and those who choose to live outside societal norms. We'll delve into the strange, the macabre, the sexy, and the outrageous. So, if you're a deviant, then you have your place with us in the padded cell. Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to episode 69, the magic number of the Padded Cell podcast. And because I didn't do it in the last episode, Happy New Year.
Did we not do it?
No.
Oh, Happy New Year.
I watched the episode back. I'm sorry, I've seen the avocado on the bottle. I didn't see that before.
Yeah, he's still in
I watched the episode back and it was the 2nd of January. We were recording it on the 20th of December. So for me, I wasn't in the New Year headspace, but I should have been saying Happy New Year, and not once in the whole episode did I wish our watchers and listeners Happy New Year.
Well,
so bad.
We were in a bit of a rush, weren't we?
Well, we were. I had about half an hour to do that episode. So with
Oh,
it
you
so
started
long.
the episode while I was having a piss.
I did. Yeah. If you haven't seen the last episode yet, I started on my own because Ryan was still having a piss when it started.
Getting a beer.
So, Happy New Year. I hope 2025 is kind to you and it's a good one for you all.
That's been fucking ruthless for me.
Already? Well, you haven't been very well, have you? Do you want to explain?
Yeah, just out of nowhere. I think it was literally the 2nd of Jan.
Yeah.
It's just that I was absolutely fine. I remember walking the shop 1st of Jan and fine. Woke up the next morning, bang.
Yeah.
The worst flu I've ever had. Lost my appetite and everything.
Yeah, like I said to you, you would have lost your Christmas weight.
Yeah.
So it's a little Brucey bonus for you there, isn't it?
Yeah.
But everybody seems to be ill at the moment. There's a lot of lurgy going around. So if you are poorly, look after yourselves, get well soon. And 2 of the crew are down here today.
Yeah.
Cameron and... Cameron? That's the 3rd time I've done that. Why do I keep calling Calvin Cameron?
No. Cold dog and dull dog.
Yeah. So Calvin and Dylan, not very well.
Sick as dogs.
Get well soon, guys. But the good news is I've managed to do the whole of Christmas and New Year and not get ill. And I went to the Christmas party. Booking at last. 3 parties I've missed because I've been ill every single time.
Yeah.
And this one, I was not ill. And we made the most of it, didn't we?
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
It was such a good night.
From what I remember.
We drank far too much, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? We did shots. We partied like it was 1999 as the song goes. You probably don't even know what that is, but
No.
It's a good thing. And we drank an awful lot of shots, didn't we?
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
There's a video, and I was going to share it today. But there's somebody in the background that wouldn't want to be in there. But we were
Yeah.
very drunk, and we were doing I don't know what number shot, and we were telling each other that we loved each other. Love you. Cheers.
Who was the person we were saying, and we don't love you to?
Possibly Mrs. G.
Was it?
It was.
Was it you?
So Mrs. G is here today, just taking a little bit of behind the scenes footage for promo.
Yeah.
And she's just giving us the finger. How rude.
Yeah.
If you're going to give us the finger, use it properly, love.
She's not allowed to.
Put it to good. And those 2 as well. 1 or 2 is fine.
And she's not allowed to.
Oh, yes. Before we went on air, you said that Mrs. G is on a ban. Tell us about the ban.
Well, so we've got the club closed for a few weeks, haven't we?
We have.
And the first event back is Fetish.
On the 24th of January.
Which is... That's kind of where we started doing our public scenes, isn't it? Fetish. So I said, wouldn't it be good to go back to Fetish?
Mm-hmm. Where it all began.
Where it all began.
When you were innocent.
Yeah. And we'll redo one of our forced orgasm scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cordelia's like, it's Monday morning, we're talking about forced orgasms already.
Yeah. Sorry, Cords.
Thanks.
But in the Discord, someone was talking about, edging and, bands and stuff like that. And I thought, do you know what? Fuck it. Dry January. Bang.
Dry January.
thought-
The dry, barren vagina.
That's gonna build up some hype for her for Fetish, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
She got something to look forward to now.
She doesn't look very impressed. Did she have a choice? Was she on board with this, or did you just tell her?
I did put it out there. It was more of a telling.
Yeah.
But then she did reply to her saying, I'm in. I don't think she thought about it before she said, I'm in.
Maybe she thought that you'd cave before her.
Yeah, no.
It's just not going to happen.
Well,
you very silly girl agreeing to stuff like that. No orgasms until the 24th of January.
I mean, we do it every now and again, and the hardest thing is the first 2 or 3 days. But I've been sick as a fucking dog.
So you haven't wanted it anyway?
No. Oh, it's perfect. But now I'm over the back of it.
So, okay.
Onwards to fetish.
It might be a little bit too much information for some people out there, but not on the Pad to Sell podcast. So, Mrs. G is not allowed. She's not allowed to do anything. She can't even like have a little finger blast.
No.
Okay. And what about you? Are you allowed to do whatever you want? So you could make her sit in the corner. You could strap her to a chair, and just make her watch you have a little 5-knuckle shuffle.
Yeah.
I'd be all over that. I'd be doing that. Oh, sorry, not all over your 5-knuckle shuffle. I know we're friends, but we're not there. What I meant was, I would do that. I would make you sit and watch.
Yeah, it's fun.
Drag it out. Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. Oh, so you weren't that ill last night. That's why you couldn't sleep last night. It's because you were pleasuring yourself.
Yeah, it was only 10 minutes.
Fucking hell's that all it takes?
Yeah. Mate, efficiency is key.
You don't make it last out.
No, I'm not like you and Jim.
No, not like me
we
and
don't
Jim.
have break, half time, snacks.
And it's because you got kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your hat's looking good, by the way.
It's better than my hair.
Oh, you're having a bad hair day, are you?
I was going to go to the barber's this morning, but...
Yeah, I haven't been to the barber's yet either. I've got a new barber, Mohammed. He's boss. Yeah, he's dead talkative as well. Really, really nice guy.
your side?
Yeah. So I used to have a barber, Steve. Sorry, Steve. I might still go and see Steve every now and then. But, it's just miles away now. So I've got a new barber, a Turkish barber up the road. Oh, he's boss.
Yeah?
Me and Steve used to have a little chat, and me hair appointment would be like 50 minutes. It doesn't need to be 50 minutes in a barber's, but we used to have a little jangle, But I haven't got time for that shit anymore. So Mo just gets me in the chair, Edward Scissorhands, and I'm out within 15 minutes.
Perfect.
And if I do not want to have a conversation at all, I can just keep my mouth shut. He doesn't even ask me how my day is.
No offence.
Just straight in there, straight out. Fucking brilliant it is. But I actually haven't even had a chance to have a 15-minute haircut.
Has he flamed your ears yet?
Fuck off! You try to say I've got hairy ears?
No, it's just that every Turkish barber does it.
He actually said, would you like your eyebrows doing? And went, back away from the eyebrows. Only I do my eyebrows.
Remove yourself from this area.
Ooh. And also, he'd probably like pluck all the greys out because he thinks that's the right thing to do. I'd have no eyebrows left at all. Anyway, I don't even know how many minutes in we are, and we haven't even done like the main part of the podcast yet. We've got quite a lot of people over on Facebook all saying Happy New Year. Oh, Happy New Year, my loves. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Let's crack on to an On This Day. Otherwise, we're not going to start, are we?
No, let's go.
So on this day in 1955, so 6th of January 1955, Rowan Atkinson was born.
Oh, I love him.
Does he actually know him?
Oh, no.
Hey, Ryan knows somebody. Fucking well done, mate.
New year, new me.
So, what's Rowan Atkinson famous for?
Mr. Bean.
And Blackadder. Do you like Blackadder?
Yeah. I watched a little bit of Blackadder, but...
Yeah, with Baldrick.
I haven't watched a lot of it.
Mr. Bean.
Johnny English is my favourite.
Oh, is it?
I fucking love Johnny English.
Yeah. He's a little bit too... he's not serious in it, but he's not his usual, like, stupid slapstick sort of character.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
I had a little T-Reg Mini years ago when I first passed my driving test. I mean, a T-Reg Mini was old then. All right. I wasn't... That wasn't a new car when I passed my driving test. I'm not an antique. But anyway, a T-Reg Mini. And every time kids would see the car, they'd be like, that's Mr. Bean's car. It's Mr. Bean's car.
It's the same colour.
Yeah. So I was beeping and all that. But now, if you guys don't know already, if you have a Mini and people see you, they give each other a punch. It's called a Mini dig.
Yeah.
And if you've got a yellow Mini, like Jimmy has, you get 3 Mini digs.
Cheese on wheels.
Cheese on wheels. Oh, you can't call Daisy that.
That's what it is, a yellow car.
Jimmy's car's called Daisy. That's not his other missus. Because he's got a yellow Mini and he's got it did have a white roof. He calls it Daisy. Yeah. But kids always see it and go bang, 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 beating each other up all over the place. Wow. Yeah. So Mr. Bean, happy birthday, Mr. Bean. I know you watch us.
Imagine he did.
And also, 1982, this day, Eddie Redmayne was born. Do you like Eddie Redmayne? Do you know who he is?
I've heard the name. You'll have to expand.
Okay, he's been in loads of things. He was in Fantastic Beasts and Where's to Find Them.
Yeah.
And The Danish Girl. and he's in The Jackal, which is out now. If you haven't watched The Jackal on Netflix, I think it's Netflix, it's brilliant.
Yeah, I was going to watch that. Not last night, the night before.
You'd love it.
Yeah.
You would love it. The little gadgets that he has, because he has like guns that he like takes apart and then puts like a case and hides things and all. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I seen a clip on TikTok.
But Eddie Redmayne, he's actually a really, really dynamic actor. All the different roles he's played. One of my favourites is a Danish girl. And he played somebody who was transitioning to female. And he's just got one of them faces. He's obviously very male. But when he was playing the part of the Danish girl, he looked really effeminate. He carried it off really, really good.
Yeah.
He was brilliant in that. But
like
The Jackal, if you haven't watched it, very, 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 very good.
Yeah,
so happy birthday to Eddie Redmayne as well. I would love it if Eddie Redmayne watched this. I really, really like him. I watched him recently on Graham Norton getting interviewed. And you know, somebody's just a really nice guy.
Yeah.
No angles, just a dude. Doesn't swear like me. You know, just a really, really nice guy. Swear like me. I don't think he swears like me anyway. He doesn't swear on Graham Norton.
I don't think there's a lot of people who swear like you.
I can't even deny that. I was going to argue. I'm not going to bother.
Nope.
So, I'd like to say a quick hello to our new patrons. We've got Lizzie, Mel and Fiona. And I'm giving you all a little January sale offer. Those out there who are on Patreons, yes. So, from today until the 31st of January, any new sign-ups to our top tier, which is the Padded Cell Inpatients tier, you'll get 50% off. So it's half price until the 31st of Jan. And you will get that for the first month. You'll get 1 month at that price. After that, you can leave that tier. You can stay where you are, leave us all together. Up to you entirely. Just a nice little way of me saying thank you and give you a little taster of what's over on Patreon. And also our second tier, which is our outpatients tier. If you don't know how it all works, just think padded cell, institution, the top tier are the inpatients, the next one's outpatients. We have a visiting area as well. You know, it's all on brand. So outpatients, they pay just £2 a month, and all they get is the episode, like today's episode, 3 days in advance. So rather than come out on a Thursday, they get it on a Monday. But for this month, I am going to be upgrading you all free of charge to the top tier, so the inpatients tier. So you can have a little look at all of our back catalogue, all the extra stuff that's on there. So you'll get that for a month and then you'll be downgraded again back to outpatients, or you can stay where you are. So that's our little way of saying thank you and Happy New Year. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So any newbies that want to come over to Patreon, you can take advantage of that offer. It should be live now. If it's not, it'll be live when we finish recording. Okay, marvellous. How long have we been recording, please, Cordelia?
About 10 minutes.
Right, well, Facebook.
No.
Whoa.
Facebook can fuck off, I was going to say.
No one swears like me.
So everybody over on Facebook, we're going to say ta-ra. If you want to carry on watching our madness, you can go over to Patreon /the Padded Cell podcast. Otherwise, I'll catch you online later on. And this episode will go out to everybody on Thursday if you don't want to go over on Patreon. So for now, TTFN, have a boss day. I'm really good at that now.
I know, you're nailing that.
I know, yeah. So, swiftly moving on. Before I actually move on, I want to give a little consensual snog to our OGs as well. I haven't done that yet. I know some of you are online this morning. Have they got anything to say over there? Look, blank face, he's not even looking.
I was looking, but no one said a lot, so I was just having a little catch-up.
Nothing interesting coming through then anyway.
QL Flight didn't know that the tiers had names.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. How long have you been a Patreon and you didn't know the tiers had names?
But I was going to say, well, there's 26 people in there. Do you want to do the competition now?
Yes, please. I don't even know what this is because you did the competition question.
Are you going to have a guess at this?
But I might give them the answer, mightn't I? I could write it down.
Go on, yeah.
Yeah, okay, go on.
Yeah. So today's competition is, how many episodes have I been in?
Ooh.
From start to finish, total.
Okay. Is it including today? This episode?
Including this episode, excluding Patreons. So it's just episodes that have gone out on YouTube.
Excuse me.
Spotify. not Patreon specials.
Okay, I am going to guess. Not Patreon specials, only Patreon. These ones.
Only these. Fucking hell.
No.
No.
More than that. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. We've actually done loads recently.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, it's well more than that then. Okay, I think it's about...
That's really close.
Okay then, all you lot over on YouTube. I'm close. So, are we going to wait to see if anybody comes through with any guesses, or should I just crack on?
Should we crack on and
Do you
I'll
know
just
what,
stop you?
actually, I'm not going to just start my segment, yes. I'll just tell people a little something before, while they're guessing. Okay. And if somebody gets it right, just go, yeah, stop.
Will do.
Okay. Right. So, just before we carry on, a lot of you have been asking about our Nance. She isn't going to be coming back. She's actually moved on to other things, new adventures and stuff. She's not working at the club anymore, and she's not going to be on the podcast.
Tyler.
Tyler?
Yeah.
Tyler what? I love Tyler. Made up for you. So, drop me a little email later, or I'll email you, whoever gets there first. Tell us what T-shirt you want, and I will get it sorted for you.
I'll ping it over.
I made
There you
up
go,
Tyler
Ty.
one.
34 was the right answer.
34 episodes?
Yeah, it's mad, that, isn't it?
Oh, and you're just filling in as well.
I thought it was about 6.
I think the first one you were on was about 8. Episode 7 or 8 it was.
It was 9, wasn't it, to start with?
4?
Well, episode 4.
Oh, Nancy's mum died and you had to come on, didn't you?
Yeah, but what episode was it? That's what we're saying. It was
I don't know.
episode...
Anyway, so our Nancy isn't coming back, I'm afraid. But we wish her well in her adventures going forward. And it'll just be me and thee, and we're going to bring on an odd guest host to shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, first one's going to be Eddie Redmayne.
Oh my God, I'd shit myself.
Imagine.
So people often ask me, I need to start my segment. People often ask me if I could interview anybody, who would it be? And while he was alive, it was always Paul O'Grady.
Oh, yeah.
Loved Paul O'Grady. People often say, actually, I'm a little bit like Paul O'Grady, and there's some of the things that I say. I mean, he did swear quite a lot, but not on air.
Yeah.
But the person I would just love to meet and just go for dinner with, an interview, and just chew the fat with is Miriam Margolyes.
I knew you were going to say it.
Miriam Margolyes is just the best. She's an old Jewish lesbian who doesn't give a shit about what people think. And I just love her. And she farts. She farts on TV. And she's offensive and doesn't care. Yeah. She doesn't care. I love her. Right then, I'm going to move on to my segment. And it's been inspired by one of our OGs. It was a chat that came up in the OGs, in the WhatsApp. It's a bit of a serious one, but it's a real thought-provoking one. Okay. Yeah. So one of the OGs, they lost somebody recently. Somebody died. I think it was their dad. And they brought up the fact that they wanted to go and partake in BDSM sexy times, even though they were grieving, very newly grieving. And they were questioning, do you think that's all right? Do you think that's normal? Am I a bit weird, or is it just wrong? And most of us are like, no, you do you. You know, you get through it however you get through it. But it made me look into it more. So this is for you and anybody else who has ever lost somebody and felt the need to jump in the sack and think you're weird. Because you're not. It's a normal, natural thing to do. So I'm going to be interchanging between sex and BDSM here, but I'm referring to both, really. Yeah. But this particular person was talking about BDSM. So obviously when we lose somebody, it's a massive, massive drain, if you like, on our emotions. You know, we're all over the place. We don't know what to think. And we go through this roller coaster of emotions. But we might find that we need some kind of release. And, you know, for some people, that can be like going and doing exercise, you know, boxing or whatever, getting some aggression out. But for others, it could be that they need to channel that grief in a different way and share it with somebody, especially if that other person has lost somebody too. So let's say, you know, your husband and wife or husband and husband, and you've lost your dad, your brother, sister or whatever. You're both very close to that person. You're both grieving. And it might be that you turn to each other to work through that grief, to channel that grief. And the idea of being sexually aroused in any way or even aroused by pain can be really, really confusing. Why would I want to do that? And it might be something that you want to avoid. We just don't think it's the right thing to do. Before I go on, what are your initial thoughts on that?
What, and just dealing with grief in whatever way? Dealing
with grief, but using sex and BDSM as a tool for channeling that grief.
Well, yeah, I could see it working just because I know how deep BDSM can get you into a certain mindset and switch your brain off.
Yeah.
I've done it with Miss G time and time again. So, like, I know how powerful it can be.
Yeah. Is that your grief or hers or both?
It's not necessarily grief, but you could certainly replace like whatever's going on in your life with grief, and do the same thing. I wouldn't be like stood at a nan's funeral and be like, right, let's get home and drown you, sort of thing. But do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I can see how it would work for people. Yeah. 100%. So
when I was thinking about this, there's a few things that I thought would work for me. So when I am topping, when I'm a dominatrix, obviously I'm in Lazy C garb today, if you haven't noticed already, hence why we're talking about BDSM, should have mentioned that. But you know the drill by now. If I'm wearing black and fancy jewellery, it's a Lazy C episode. So I was thinking about the concentration that it takes to top somebody and get in that headspace. It takes a lot of concentration, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So for me, I'd be like, I can't think of anything else while I'm doing that. I'm just concentrating on that person and the implements I'm using. I'm playing safely. I'm watching their body language. So in my mind, it's a bit of an escapism from what I'm feeling.
So tuned in,
absolutely tuned in. But from a bottom standpoint, so if I was on the receiving end, God, I'm so windy today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'm not going to burp again down the mic. That's terrible. Hang on. Hold the line a minute. Hold the line. From a bottom point of view, I would be concentrating, I suppose, but it's a different level of concentration. What's coming next? Trying to second guess what's coming next would probably be a distraction. But actually, I think it's going to be more of a hormone thing that's going to help me as a bottom. Maybe even a top as well, because you're going to be releasing adrenaline and stuff when you're physically exerting yourself. But as a bottom, if you're going to be hit and restrained and put into that mindset, it's all a hormone thing again, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's that's going to help people, I suppose.
That probably overrides any feeling that you have got.
Yeah.
I know the feelings of grief probably will come back.
Yeah, absolutely. But for that time.
Or they might be lessened after the fact of whatever you've done.
But we do know, though, that any hormone release, it's not just like there and then leaves you. It has a lasting effect. It can dwindle gradually for some people. So the effect of what you've experienced during a BDSM scene would be long lasting, I think.
Yeah.
But let's just go back to pain. So we obviously, we know the difference as kinksters between pain, bad pain and good pain.
Yeah.
If somebody was to like Chinese burn my arm or pinch me skin, but ow, it's not a nice pain. I didn't ask for it. I didn't consent for it. Yeah. And it's short, sharp. It wasn't built up. It wasn't all that. But the pain that we created built up over a period of time. We mix up the sensations. We've consented. We know that it's coming. And because we've got full control over that, there's this hormone letdown, isn't it, that we've talked about loads.
Yeah.
The dopamine, the oxytocin, the endorphins. There's all of these hormones that are going to be flooding. And they make you feel good and in control and safe for that moment. And like I say, for some people, a little while afterwards as well, because they can last for a little while after. So if you're going through this intense grief and an emotional pain, and for some people, I don't know about you, when I lost my nan, I had to go through counselling after my nan. I was in a right fucking state. The pain was physical. It was physical. I literally felt like something had been ripped out of my chest. It was horrendous. I'd lost my favourite person in the whole world and I didn't know what on earth I was going to do. It was physical. And so at the time, I wasn't into bottoming as in BDSM. And I would have quite liked, I think, to have had the opportunity to be beaten and to just see actually if it did help.
Just sit there and switch off.
Yeah, just switch off for a little bit and stop just feeling that hurt just for a minute.
Yeah.
And so I totally get that. Give me those good hormones. Give me the endorphins. Give me the love hormone, the oxytocin.
Factory reset.
A reset, absolutely. And I want that connection, with my partner, with Jim, to just feel loved for that short space of time and feel that release a little bit. And I can imagine actually for some people, if you're going to go through that, you might even cry through or afterwards because you've still got those emotions. You're just compartmentalizing them just for that moment. And instead you're allowing other things in. And so to be able to release for that time, to shelve those negative emotions and allow these other things to come in, I can imagine it would make you cry, to give you that release, to give you that moment of just giving it a minute. Because
it might just be the case of, like in your case, I have lost my nan, but I've got 100% of Jim in this moment.
Yeah.
And he cares about nothing else but me.
Yeah.
So it probably does make you feel like, although I have had this great loss, I've still got this.
And also, I think some people need a reason to cry.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that, losing somebody in that level of grief isn't a reason to cry. But I don't know about you guys out there, but there's been times when I've been desperately sad and I can't cry.
Yeah.
It will not come out. And it could be because I'm trying to protect other people, maybe my kids. Or maybe it's just a defence mechanism because life goes on. I remember when my nan died on 20th of December, I mentioned it last time. We still had Christmas parties to come, New Year's Eve and everything. My nan actually was buried on New Year's Eve and I had to go into work that night and run a New Year's Eve party and host it and be on the desk. And so I didn't allow myself almost really to have that good cry. I had like little...
Yeah.
So for those people out there who don't find it easy to cry, this is giving you a reason. Beat the fucking shit out of me.
Yeah.
Give me a reason to cry. Yeah. And then I think maybe you might even break down. And how good would that feel? Cleansing would that feel?
Yeah.
And the intimacy that comes with it, the safety, somebody hugging you if you're having sex or after a BDSM scene. Just that closeness, that contact with somebody, it makes you feel human again, doesn't it?
Back together.
It brings you back in the room, absolutely. Any of our watchers over on YouTube got anything to say about that?
Yeah, the comments were flying, to be honest.
Okay, let's go.
I haven't really been reading them. I didn't want to distract myself from what you were saying.
Okay.
But yeah, Raven was saying the catharsis is real.
Yeah.
So healing by pain, that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Skin on skin contact, human connection. There's loads of people just agreeing with what we're saying.
Yeah.
But I feel like because our watchers are so on board with it, I feel like if you said this to, I always call them muggles.
Yeah.
Totally people to be like, you fucking weird gang, you fucking horrible bastards.
You say I swear a lot.
Fucking spend fucking 34 episodes and you're rubbing off on me. But no, the muggles would be like, he's a weird gang of people, you lot. But it's like, we can see the positives as to why we do it. And to me, that's good enough. I don't have to justify myself to anyone.
No, I'm past all that.
I know what I do to Mrs. G works for us, and that's good enough reason for me.
Yeah, and if people want to question me on that, I'm happy to answer the questions.
Same. I'll happily sit down with anyone and explain my point of view, her point of view, and and if that still makes us weird, then sound.
Absolutely. I totally get all of this. And when it came up in the WhatsApp OG group, when this person was questioning it, I was like, nah, I totally get why you would go and want to have sex or beat up your partner or vice versa or whatever. I totally get it. Life does go on, and the same coping mechanisms that we use for everything else in life, why can't we use it when we're grieving? There's nothing wrong with it.
Why not?
Death is part of life, and life goes on, and whatever it takes for you to get through it.
Yeah, I feel like grief's the only thing that we're not taught how to deal with.
No,
it just fucking lands on your doorstep one day and you're like, oh, fucking, there you go.
And I think Brits as well are pretty rubbish. Stiff upper lip thing that Brits carry, it's like a burden almost. It's like, no, this stiff upper lip, it's all fucking bullshit. Yeah. You know, and we stand in queues and shit. We're all very polite, aren't we?
We're polite, but we're not.
Yeah. Do you know what I love? You know when you see a funeral and it's a black person that's died and you've got all black people standing around the grave and they're wailing and they're singing and they're doing all... It's just this wave of emotion that they're just not afraid to show it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's marvellous. It's a cultural thing, very much a cultural thing. But that's healthy, surely? Healthy to share and show the emotion. Yeah.
I always think funerals should be a celebration of life.
Yeah, mine's going to be a celebration of life. I've already said to Jim, this, morbid. And I've said to him, if you say a prayer, mention God, if I'm in a church, I will come back and haunt you in a bad way. It's not going to be good. Thank you. Because we started about 20 past, we're probably going to go to about 5 past, if that's okay, Cordelia.
No worries.
I was looking at the psychology around all of this. Yeah. So I haven't just, made all this shit up. I've been reading some articles and websites and stuff like that. And it's a very healthy thing to do. There's nothing wrong with it at all. However, there are some negative sides to this that you need to look out for.
Of course.
And before I go on to do that, I was going to do a little dangly bit. Do you think it's appropriate to do a dangly bit? Should I just forge on with this? Because it's quite an interesting subject, really. Add forge on.
Yeah. Crack on, yeah.
Yeah. So there's some things you need to look out for, and it's things that might creep up on you unbeknownst, without you even realising it. So using BDSM and sex as a coping mechanism is fine, but it shouldn't be a long-term thing. It should be temporary, really. Yeah. When I was reading the psychology papers on this, they were saying very, very healthy. You do it. It's great. But it can go into the realms of being unhealthy. It can be an unhealthy coping mechanism. Using sex and BDSM to mask negative emotions is never a good thing. And this is one of the things that can happen. So you fall into a habit of using sex and BDSM to mask. You're not actually dealing with it at all. Yeah. You're burying it, and actually you're having sex or whatever a lot as a coping mechanism. Now, I have to admit that we've done this. I don't think we fell into it going into a real negative thing. Yeah. But through COVID, we thought we were going to lose everything. We really did. We didn't have any money. We were going to lose the club and everything. And we had a lot of time in our hands. We had a lot of sex. Yeah. An awful lot of sex. Yeah. We were bang at it. And it was a great coping mechanism at the time, but it became a bit of a habit. Can't lie.
It's a distraction, isn't it?
Became a bit of a habit. And it was like it's not long left us, to be honest, this habit, whereby we basically dictated our social life around our sex life. So it's like, no, I can't go out tonight, it's sex night. And you might actually hear me say that still every now and then. Because it's really, really important to us. It's a big, big part of us. Yeah. But at one point I was like, is it becoming a little bit unhealthy, actually? And then when our Brillo died, the dog, it'll be 3 years in August. That night, he died in our living room. We had sex. And we had sex the next night as well. Yeah. And I know it sounds mad, he's just a dog, but he wasn't just a dog. Brillo quite literally saved my life when we first got him. And he was mine. He was my baby. And when he died, fuck me, I literally felt like my heart being ripped out. Yeah. But I went and shagged him that night. And it was our way of getting through it.
Of course, yeah.
And it was fine. And at the time, we were a bit like, oh, should we be doing this? But it was our way of supporting each other. Yeah. Because he was, oh my God, Jim was devastated. I've never seen him like that since, actually. Yeah. So it was good. But maybe we did take it into the realms of being a bit unhealthy at times. And this is what psychologists are warning. So it's great at the time to enjoy each other in whatever way that is. but communicate afterwards or even before.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to do this, but, you know, we're not going to make a habit out of it. But afterwards as well, you know, communicating afterwards, you know, did it do what you wanted it to do?
But we've got scenes that we call breaking, scene, not like a break-in scene, breaking, where the aim is to break her, where she'll literally just be knelt in the living room. I'll walk around it. It's just a degradation scene, but it's every anxiety or everything she's ever brought up in, you know, in the last few months, and that's playing on her mind. I just exaggerate all of that, bring it to the surface.
Oh, you're evil.
I know. And say a lot of it to her, and she fucking cries for hours afterwards, but then comes out the other side of like, it's off my chest now.
Yeah.
And we sort of fell into a habit of doing one of them every week, and I was like, no, we've got to stop this.
Yeah.
I said, because it'll either get to the point where you won't believe a single word that I'm saying, and then
what's the point then?
We can't level up from this, like, because of how heavy it is. I said, or at the worst, you're going to start believing everything I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you know, we always start the scene with whatever I'm about to say now is purely exaggerated, and it's drawn from your anxieties and things that you've made up in your mind. And then afterwards we do all the aftercare and everything that you normally would do. But again, we'd only do one of them like every 3-6 months now. And if something does happen, if something gets down over something, I just stick it in the notebook, and then that'll crop up the next time. But yeah, we have to move away from doing something like that, falling into that trap.
I think it can get a little bit deep, too deep, and actually, you know, it goes from being a positive thing into almost torturous. Because you know, it's a very fine line between it being fun and actual, you know, proper torture.
Because you and Jim are probably like us, where you do something and go, actually, do you know what? Next time we could probably push that a little bit further.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you do it next time and you push the boat out and go, actually, while we're pushing that, we could probably push that a little. And before you know it, it's like, we've got nowhere else to go.
Exactly. Now imagine doing that when you're going through grief. When you're not really thinking straight. When you might agree to things that you might not normally agree to.
Because when you come back down from that, where are you?
Exactly, You've still got a life to live after that. You've still got to function and everything else. So that's a really, really great point. You know, thanks for sharing that, because that's a perfect example of how something like this can go very wrong very quickly if you don't communicate it.
And where'd you go then?
Where'd you go? So this whole dependency on BDSM and sex in any way, actually, I think is unhealthy, but especially when you're emotionally vulnerable already. Communicating how you both felt afterwards, I think, is really important.
100%.
Did this do what we really wanted it to do, or just like not do that again because I wasn't in the right headspace? And you can emotionally disconnect as well, apparently. It says here, it says this can happen when grief sex becomes a habitual response to emotional distress. So it goes on beyond the grief. So every time that you're hitting a stressful point in your life, or you're just having a bad day, you just go and fuck the stress away.
Get the bats out.
But what you're not doing is talking about it. You're just fucking each other. So you're emotionally disconnecting. You're using each other almost really as a coping mechanism, but you're not actually communicating that. That can be really, really, really damaging.
Just going through the motions.
And also they warn that there could be imbalanced power dynamics. So, for instance, if one person is going through grief but the other isn't.
Got you.
That the person topping the grieving person, they might go into dangerous realms of using that person, and a vulnerable person.
Got you. Yeah.
Abusing
so
that
grieving,
power.
Do you mean?
No, if the bottom's grieving and the top is taking advantage of that and making them agree to things they wouldn't normally. But also from the other side, it might be that one partner might feel obligated to engage in BDSM or sex for the good of the other person when they don't want to do it.
That's what I was thinking, that point of view,
And so that can lead to feelings of resentment then from the non-grieving person, if you like. When there's that expectation there. And also there can be consent issues. So if you're doing this all the time to cope with grief or stress or whatever, you fall into a bad habit. And then are you actually consenting for this every time because you're falling into that habit? There's an expectation there. are you both agreeing to this? There's an assumed consent. If you don't know what assumed consent is, I'm going to go into consent one day. It's a really interesting subject. But basically, when you're in a partnership and you're just doing things all the time, you're not checking in with each other to make sure you're still okay with doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so the assumed consent apparently is a really big thing in this, that you just... Sorry, that's the alarm again. That happened last time. I didn't even know what it's telling me to do. It's probably telling me to take medication or something.
That's too fucking cheery for you, though.
Yeah, it is a bit cheery, isn't it? My ringtone is Tubular Bells from The Exorcist.
There we go.
It is.
Back in the room.
It is. Anyway, right. So... that's basically it on the whole the grief BDSM thing.
Yeah.
But I hope whoever asked for this and talked about it in the WhatsApp group, I hope it's given you some food for thought. It's definitely a healthy thing to do. You're not weird. You are completely normal. Yep. But what I'd say to anybody out there who's using sex and BDSM to get through stress and grief and stuff, please make sure you communicate with your partner, your play partner or your life partner. Make sure that you're both still okay with this. Debrief afterwards, especially if it's BDSM. Obviously not going to do that after sex. How was that blowjob? Should I have gone longer and deeper? I don't mean that. After BDSM, we always debrief after a BDSM session. Always. But it's dead important to do it.
A clipboard and a survey.
A satisfaction survey? Oh my God.
Just pulling out the glasses from underneath the pillow.
I need to do this, in the club. At Whimper. Give all the subs a satisfaction survey. But there's only one answer. You were brilliant, Lady C. Nothing to change here. So, grief sex, grief BDSM, don't use it as a crutch. It's basically a tool in your toolbox of getting through life and overcoming grief. But in the meantime, fill your boots. Because it's not a bad thing to do. It's really not. You are human. And whatever it takes for you to stay sane, you just do it. You be you.
Have fun. Be safe.
Yes. Right. So, before we finish, we haven't had the goat yet. I'm dead impressed with myself.
It's 5 past.
It's okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. I'm not expecting the goat. I'm just, because we haven't, I'm going to carry on.
3 more minutes.
Before we finish, I just want to acknowledge somebody who died yesterday.
There's a lot of fucking death on this today.
Well, this is why I'm sort of throwing it in as well, you know. But you can go and shag away your grief after the time. For those of you out there who are like me, who love drag queens.
Oh, God, yeah.
There's a show out there called Drag Race. RuPaul's Drag Race. It's all over the world. They got them in the Philippines and then all over Europe and everything. Yeah. And I've watched every single one. I am the biggest fan. I love Drag Race. And when Drag Race came to UK, I was really delighted. And I was even more delighted because one of the contestants on that very, very first show was a Scouser called the Vivian. And I knew from the very first episode that the Vivian was going to win. Because the Vivian was outstanding, very, very funny, beautiful, a good heart, had a lot of ups and downs in their past, but had overcome them and had found themselves on Drag Race UK and did go on to win, did outstanding, and had gone on to do lots of TV shows, lots of public appearances and done a lot of good with that win. But unfortunately, the Vivian passed away yesterday suddenly. And the whole of the drag world has been shook. I was devastated yesterday when I found out. I really, really couldn't believe it. And because I'm a fan, and because we do actually have a lot of drag queens who watch our podcast, I just want to acknowledge the Vivian just for a second, because they were only 32. Fucking 32, man.
It's sad, that.
Yeah. And it's a big, big loss in that world, but also in the entertainment world. So I just want to give a little nod to the Vivian. And shine bright wherever you are in drag heaven, and let the party continue. Mm-hmm. Also, before we go, very, very quick.
Oh, fucking Christ.
What the fuck is it? Oh, it's over here.
Who's dying now?
Hang on. I was given a present yesterday by my friend Katie and Harry. It's been all over the internet. I don't know if we can zoom in on this at all. But it's a Marks and Spencer's chocolate bar they've brought out, I think, for Halloween. Fucking hell. Valentine's. And the Marks and team have not thought this through very well at all. Can you see what they've done there, Rye?
Yeah.
So there's a horse. There's a red horse.
Just hold it where your face is so it focuses. There you go.
But hold it that way.
Hang on, I can just do this.
No, Beck, hold it like up. Hold it up.
Why can't I just do that?
No, just
can
face
you see
it up. No, it's not focusing properly. Hold it, like point the helmet up. Point the helmet up.
What helmet?
Point the fucking thing up. Point the love heart up at the ceiling. Oh my god, turn the box.
That way! You fucking do it, know it all.
I want to just go like that. So it look like a knobhead.
It looks better when you do it. Anyway, that whole thing was spoilt from my stupidity. But basically, the Mark and team have not thought this through because the horse looks like a
helmet.
It does.
It does.
Okay, it does, but it looks like something else to me. I just need to wipe my eyes. There's two things wrong with this, right? So for people like you, it looks like a penis with a helmet on the end, right?
With a huge helmet.
To me, it looks like a bottom, and there's a black penis penetrating it. That's how it looks to me.
Oh, yeah.
That's where my mind went. Mm-hmm.
Well,
so, Marks and Spencer's. We've had the scream and ghost. Marks and Spencer's, thank you so much for your faux pas, because to some of us it looks like a dick.
There you go, well done.
And to some of us it looks like a dick penetrating a bottom. So there you go.
It's not just the dick penetrating a bottom.
No, right.
It's an M&S.
I keep saying quit. Fetish factoid.
Oh, fucking hell.
I haven't finished yet. Anyway, episode 69. We're going to talk about 69. One of my favourite positions. Not everybody likes it, you know.
No,
they can't get it right. What about you guys? Is it a thing that you like to do?
She doesn't like her.
Don't you?
She doesn't.
Why?
I do. She doesn't like people going down on her.
You don't like oral? What's wrong with you?
It feels like toffee when someone does it to me. My brain doesn't.
It feels like toffee.
Toppy.
Toppy.
Yeah, she feels toppy if someone goes down on her.
Really? Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, God, my condolences. My condolences that your wife doesn't like oral.
I've got a bag like that full of restraints.
Dear me. Okay. Well, it's one of my favourite things.
Yeah.
Now, 69 can be difficult to master, but persevere. Persevere. And my advice to you all is use cushions. If you're gonna be there for a while, you know that we're there for a while.
Okay.
You need to be comfy. You can get a sore neck and everything.
Of course.
So the person on the bottom needs to lie on a cushion, so the bum on a cushion, so they're elevated a little bit, and the head on a cushion as well, so they can, you know.
Yeah. Sell on this to
And
us.
obviously the person on top, so your stomach to stomach, they can like rest on you then, because you're on a cushion. You don't feel like you're completely trapped. You're elevated and all that. So if you haven't mastered it yet, get some pillows underneath you.
Yeah.
Lift yourself up and just persevere. You'll be fine. Anyway, right. I was trying to find some interesting facts about a 69, and I couldn't really. But I found an article on the Times of India.
Okay, here we go.
And the Times of India, obviously, have got an agenda. They don't want people to have oral sex at all, basically. Yeah. And I get the impression that they think that sex is just all about climax and ejaculation for one purpose only, and that's for procreating.
Okay.
Let me elaborate. The title of this article says, "Here's why the 69 is the worst position ever."
Oh.
Says the fridge. Okay. It says you can't focus on two things at the same time. Please. Everybody can focus on two things at the same time.
It's only two things.
You walk and breathe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talk and walk. All that. You can do two things at the same time. It says height difference. Basically, they say extremes in height would make it difficult. I mean, they've obviously never, ever, ever had a 69 in their life, because that is ridiculous. You'd have to have a 2-foot height difference for it to even be an issue. Yeah. But also the person on top, they just don't lie flat. The arch.
Yeah.
Like that.
You make it fit, don't you?
Fucking hell, you make it fit. I was going to ask you to do a demo, but never mind. They said it's uncomfortable. You might lose balance and topple over while you're doing it. It might become difficult to breathe when your mouth and nose are dug in your partner's organs. Fuck off. Plus, your neck might start to ache after just a few minutes.
You need to practice then and get good at it.
But you might topple over and hurt yourself. Oh, didums.
Where the fuck are they doing? The fucking side of a mountain?
Topple and hurt yourself. They've obviously never had sex. They've been thrown around the room all over the place. Yeah. I mean, I have injuries. I have bruises. I have bruises. Anyway, not from a 69, though. We're very good at it. It says there's no intimacy. Yeah. Even though the position looks pretty engaging, but in reality, you can never gauge how much your partner's enjoying the act. There's hardly any moaning involved, nor is there much possibility of eye contact. It depends what eye you're looking at, really. I'm thinking about the one down there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The one eye.
Yeah, but there's no intimacy. I mean, you've got your face buried in fanny.
You can't get more intimate
or
than that.
A mouthful of penis. I mean, I don't know how more intimate you could possibly get, you know. And you can't... They obviously think that you need to open your mouth and not have it full to make a noise. You can moan and groan with a mouthful of penis. Look. Okay, I said it's not orgasm friendly.
God, can you press that fucking go again, please?
It's not all about an orgasm, though. Is it? It's the journey. It's the journey. If you think this is embarrassing, mate, the next episode that we're going to record directly after this, you're going to be beetroot.
Worried about what else is to come.
We've got to go for the second time. We're going. We're going because Ryan's dying and I'm going to get kicked out of the studio.
I need to cough, blow my nose.
Right, so on that 69 bombshell.
That's enough. I should have done it that way because it's 69 episode.
We're going to go.
Yeah.
I've got a little heart on there.
It's a fucking helmet.
So, on that bombshell, if you binge watch and put the kettle on, we'll see you in 5. If not, we'll see you next week. It's dead dirty next week. And there we have it. Another day made better by listening to the curators of chaos. Thanks for dropping by. And if you enjoyed the show, we'd really appreciate you sharing the Love the Pad to Sell podcast with your friends. Don't forget to give us a follow on our socials, maybe some 5-star reviews, and feel free to send us an email to medic@thepadsellpodcast.co.uk or even interact with us on Facey, Insta and our other socials because we love chatting to you. Make sure you stop by next week because, as Bowie says, I don't know where I'm going next, but I promise it won't be boring. Catch you soon.